Feeling is creation. Whenever your feeling is in conflict with your wish, feeling will be the victor. Fields of feelings. I want you to understand what happens to you when you give love through your good feelings, because it is truly magnificent. Your feelings create a magnetic field that completely surrounds you. Every person is surrounded by a magnetic field, and so wherever you go, the magnetic field goes with you. You may have seen ancient pictures depicting something similar where they show an aura or halo surrounding a person. Well, the aura surrounding each person is actually an electromagnetic field, and it's through the magnetism of your field that surrounds you that you attract everything in your life. What determines whether your field is positive or negative at any time is your feelings. Every single time you give love, through your feelings, words, or actions, you add more love to the field around you. The more love you give, the greater and more powerful is your magnetic field. Whatever is in your magnetic field is attracting to itself, and so the more love in your field, the more power you have to attract the things you love. You can get to a point where the magnetic power in your field is so positive and strong that you can have a flash of imagining and feeling something good, and within no time, it has appeared in your life. That is the incredible power you have. And that is the phenomenal power of the force of love. Through your ability to think and feel, you have dominion over all creation. I want to share a very simple situation that happened in my life that demonstrates how fast love can work. I love flowers, and so I do my best to have fresh flowers each week because they make me feel happy. Usually I buy flowers from the farmer's market, but on this particular week it was raining and there was no farmer's market, and no flowers. My response to there being no flowers was that it was a really good thing because it would make me appreciate and love flowers even more. Instead of feeling disappointment, I chose to feel love, and so I filled my magnetic field with the love of flowers. Within 2 hours I received a delivery of an enormous vase of flowers. From across the other side of the world, my sister had sent me the most beautiful flowers you have ever seen, thanking me for something I had done for her. When you can give love, no matter what the circumstances must change. Now you can appreciate why it is so important to choose love, because every time you give love, you increase and multiply the love in the magnetic field around you. The more love you give in your day-to-day life, the greater the magnetic power of love you have in the field around you, and everything you want will fall at your feet. This is the magic of what your life will be when you are giving love. My life did not used to be as magical as it is now. My life used to be full of struggle and difficulties, but I discovered something fantastic about life, and what I discovered is everything I am sharing with you in this book. Nothing is too big for the force of love. There is no distance too great, no obstacle it cannot overcome, time cannot stand in its way. You can change anything in your life by harnessing the greatest power in the universe, and all you have to do is give love. The point of creation, you can tend to think of the things you want as really big things, but your perspective is way out of proportion when you think that way. When you think something is really big, in effect you're saying to the law of attraction, this is so big it's going to be difficult to achieve, and it's probably going to take a really long time. And you will be right, because whatever you think and feel is what you will receive. If you think your desire is really big, you will create difficulty and a time delay in receiving what you want. But there is no big or small for the law of attraction, and there is no concept of time for the law of attraction. To help you have the true perspective of creation, no matter how big your desire may seem to you, think of it as the size of a dot. You may want a house, car, vacation, money, the perfect partner, your dream job, or children. You may want to receive full health in your body. You may want to pass exams, get into a particular college, break a world record, become president, a successful actor, lawyer, writer, or teacher. It doesn't matter what it is you want, think of it as the size of a dot, because for the force of love, what you want is smaller than a dot. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win. If you find your faith wavering, just put a dot in the center of a large circle and next to the dot write the name of your desire. As often as you like, look at your drawing of the dot in the circle, knowing your desire is the size of that dot for the force of love. How to change something negative? If there is something negative in your life and you want to change it, the process is the same. Give love by imagining and feeling that you have what you want. Remember that anything negative is a lack of love, and so you have to imagine the opposite of the negative situation, because its opposite is love. For example, if you have an illness that you want to be gone, give love for your body being healthy. If you are using the creation process to change something negative, know that you do not have to turn the negative into a positive. That feels really hard to do, and it is not how creation works. Creation means something new is created, which automatically replaces the old. You don't need to think about what you want to change. All you have to do is give love for what you want, and the force of love will replace the negativity for you. If a person is injured and receiving medical help, but things are not improving, it means they're imagining and feeling the injury more than they're imagining and feeling a full recovery. The way to tip the balance to recovery is to imagine and feel having a full recovery more than not having it. The fact that you can imagine a full recovery means that it already exists. Impregnate your magnetic field with good feelings about anything and everything that makes you feel good. Ramp up your love in every area of your life. Feel good as much as you can, because every moment of giving love brings a full recovery. Your feelings are your God. Whether you want to change your health, money, relationships, or anything else, the process is the same. Imagine what you want. Imagine and feel the love of having it. Imagine every scene and situation you can with what you want, and feel that you have it now. Try spending 7 minutes each day imagining and feeling having what you want. Do it each day until you feel as though you already have your desire. Do it until you know your desire belongs to you, as you know your name belongs to you. With some things you will get to this state after just 1 or 2 days. Other things may take you longer. Then simply get on with your life, giving as much love and as many good feelings as you can, because the more love you give, the faster you will receive what you desire. After you've imagined and felt having what you want, you're literally in a new world with what you've imagined, so don't contradict the new world by telling everyone about an injury that's not improving, because then you are imagining the worst again, and you're back in the old world. As you imagine the worst, that's what you will receive back. As you imagine the best, that's what you'll receive back. If somebody asks how your injury is doing, you can say, I am feeling 100% again and my body is following. You can say, this has been a blessing because it has made me appreciate my body and health more than I ever have in my life. Or if you are bold enough, you can say, I have a full recovery by the horns. You can't talk about something you don't want without feeling bad. It's that simple, but people are so used to not feeling good a lot of the time, they don't even notice how bad they feel when they're imagining and talking about what they don't want. When you become more aware of how you're feeling, and you care more about your feelings, you will get to the point where the slightest dip in your good feelings will be unbearable for you. You will become so used to feeling good, you'll be so aware of your feelings, that if they dip you will feel it and you'll get yourself back to feeling good right away. You are supposed to feel good and be happy most of the time, because you are meant to have an amazing life, and there is no other way you can receive it. I am still determined to be cheerful and happy in whatever situation I may be, for I have also learned from experience that the greater part of our happiness or misery depends upon our dispositions, and not upon our circumstances. How to eliminate bad feelings. You can change anything in your life by changing how you feel. When you change how you feel about any subject, the subject must change. But in changing the way you feel, don't try to get rid of bad feelings, because all bad feelings are simply a lack of love. Instead, you put love in. You don't try to get rid of anger or sadness. Anger and sadness are gone when you put love in. There is nothing to dig out of you. When you put love into you, all bad feelings are gone. There is only one force in life, and that force is love. You are either feeling good because you are full of love, or you are feeling bad because you are empty of love, but all your feelings are degrees of love. Think of love as if it is water in a glass, and the glass is your body. When a glass has only a little water in it, it is empty of water. You can't change the water level in the glass by waging war on the emptiness and trying to rip out the emptiness. The emptiness goes by filling the glass with water. When you have bad feelings, you are empty of love, and so when you put love into yourself, the bad feelings are gone. Don't resist bad feelings. Everything has its perfect place in life, including bad feelings. Without bad feelings, you would never know what it feels like to feel good. You would just feel the one blah feeling all the time because you would have nothing to compare your feelings to. You wouldn't know what it feels like to feel really happy, excited, or joyful. It's through feeling sadness that you know how good it feels to be happy. You can never remove bad feelings from life because they are a part of life, and without them, you wouldn't have good feelings. If you feel bad about having bad feelings, you are adding more power to your bad feelings. Not only will your bad feelings get worse, but you will increase the negativity you're giving out. Now you understand that bad feelings don't bring the life you want, which will make you more mindful not to let bad feelings take over you. You are in charge of your feelings, and so if you have a bad feeling sweeping over you, one way to discharge its energy is to lighten up. There is a world within, a world of thought and feeling and power, of light and beauty, and although invisible, its forces are mighty. Life is supposed to be fun. When you're having fun, you feel great and you receive great things. When you take life too seriously, you receive serious things. Having fun brings the life you want, and taking things too seriously brings a life you have to take seriously. You have the power over your life, and you can use it to design your life in whatever way you want, but for your own sake, lighten up. To lighten up about bad feelings, I have imagined bad feelings as wild horses. There's an angry horse, a resentful horse, blaming horse, sulky horse, cranky horse, grumpy horse, an irritable horse, you name it. There's a stable full of bad feeling horses. If I feel some disappointment over something that has happened, then I say to myself, why did you climb on the disappointment horse? Get off it now, because it's heading for more disappointment and you don't want to go where it's going. And so I imagine bad feelings as wild horses I climb on, and if I climbed on them, then I can get off them too. I don't see bad feelings as something that is the real me or anyone else, because that is not the truth. Bad feelings are not who you are, and they are not who anyone is. A bad feeling is something you allowed yourself to feel, and you can choose to get off that horse as fast as you jumped onto it. If you think of bad feelings as a wild horse that you climbed on, it's one way to take the power out of bad feelings. If someone close to you is cranky, their bad feeling will have far less power to affect you if you imagine them as having climbed on a cranky horse. You will not take their crankiness so personally. But if you do take it personally and you become cranky from their crankiness, then you just jumped on the cranky horse with them. Respond intelligently even to unintelligent treatment. And so with anything in life that I don't want, I use my imagination to have fun and take the power out of what I don't want. Sometimes watching myself or other people ride wild horses in various life situations makes me laugh, and when you can laugh yourself out of a bad feeling, that is really something. You have just changed your life. So if you are feeling bad, don't give that bad feeling more power by beating up on yourself that you feel bad. If you do that, you're just whipping the wild horse into a bigger negative frenzy. The idea is not to hate bad feelings but to deliberately choose good feelings, and choose them more often. When you resist bad feelings, they increase. The more you don't want bad feelings, the more you increase them. The more you resist anything in life, the more you bring it to you. So don't care about bad feelings if they come upon you. Don't resist them at all, and then you take all the power out of them. Points of power. Every person is surrounded by a magnetic field. Wherever you go, the magnetic field goes with you. You attract everything through the magnetism of your field. Your feelings determine whether your field is positive or negative at any time. Every single time you give love, through your feelings, words, or actions, you add more love to the field around you. The more love in your field, the more power you have to attract the things you love. Imagine what you want as the size of a dot. For the force of love, what you want is smaller than a dot. You do not have to turn the negative into a positive. Just give love for what you want, because the creation of what you want replaces the negativity. Spend 7 minutes each day imagining and feeling having what you want. Do it until you know your desire belongs to you, as you know your name belongs to you. There is only one force in life, and that force is love. You are either feeling good because you are full of love, or you are feeling bad because you are empty of love, but all of your feelings are degrees of love. To lighten up about bad feelings, imagine bad feelings as wild horses you climb on. If you climbed on them, you can climb off them too. You can choose to get off that horse as fast as you jumped onto it. Change what you give, and you will always, without exception, change what you receive, because that is the law of attraction. That is the law of love. Life follows you. Destiny is no matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Life follows you. Absolutely everything you experience in your life is a result of what you have given out in your thoughts and feelings, whether you realize you have given them or not. Life is not happening to you, life is following you. Your destiny is in your hands. Whatever you think, whatever you feel, will decide your life. Everything in life is presented to you for you to choose what you love. Life is a catalog, and you are the one who chooses what you love from the catalog. But are you choosing the things you love, or are you too busy judging and labeling the bad things? If your life is far from wonderful, then you've inadvertently been labeling all the bad things. You've allowed the things you think are bad to distract you from the purpose of your life. Because the purpose of your life is to love. The purpose of your life is joy. The purpose of your life is to choose the things you love and turn away from the things you don't love so you don't choose them. Choose what you love. When you see your dream car go whizzing down the street, life is presenting that car to you, How you feel when you see your dream car is everything, because if you choose to feel nothing but love for that car, you are bringing your dream car to you. But if you feel envy or jealousy because someone else is driving your dream car, you just gonged yourself out of having your dream car. Life presented the car to you so you could choose. And you choose it by feeling love. Do you see that it doesn't matter whether someone else has something and you don't? Life is presenting everything to you, and if you feel love for it, you are bringing the same thing to you. When you see a happy couple madly in love, and you desperately want a partner in your life, life is presenting the happy couple to you for you to choose. But if you feel sad or lonely when you see the happy couple, you just gave out negativity, and in effect said, I want to be sad and lonely. You have to give love for what you want. If you are overweight and you're walking down the street and a person with a perfect body passes you by, how do you feel? Life is presenting the great body to you for you to choose, and so if you feel bad because you don't have that body, you just said, I don't want a body like that, I want the overweight body I have. If you are struggling with some kind of disease, and you are surrounded by healthy people, how do you feel? Life is presenting healthy people to you so you can choose health, and so when you feel love for the health around you, more than you feel bad about a lack of health, you are choosing health for yourself. When you feel good about anything any person has, you are bringing it to you. When you feel good about the success of another person, the happiness of another person, or all the good things anyone else has, you are choosing those things from the catalog of life, and you are bringing them to yourself. If you meet someone who has qualities you wish you had, love those qualities and feel good about those qualities in that person, and you are bringing those qualities to yourself. If someone is smart, beautiful, or talented, love those qualities and you choose those things for you. If you want to become a parent and you've been trying for a long time, then give love and feel good every single time you see a parent with a child. If you feel depressed when you see children because you don't have a child, then you are repelling and pushing children away from you. Life is presenting children to you each time you see them, so you can choose. When you're playing a sport and another person wins, when a work colleague tells you they got a pay raise, when someone wins the lottery, when a friend tells you that their spouse gave them a surprise gift of a weekend away, or that they bought a beautiful new house, or that their child won a scholarship, you should be as excited as they are. You should be as excited and happy as though it has happened to you, because then you are saying yes to it, then you are giving love to it, and you are bringing it to you. When you see your dream car, a happy couple, the perfect body, children, great qualities in a person, or whatever it is you want, it means you are on the same frequency as those things. Be excited, because your excitement is choosing it. Everything in life is presenting itself to you so you can choose what you love and what you don't love, but only love brings what you want to you. Life's catalog contains many things you don't love, so don't choose them by giving bad feelings. Judge another person and think they're bad, and you bring negativity to you. Feel envious or jealous of something another person has, and you bring negativity to you while pushing away the very thing you want with a mighty force. Only love brings what you want to you. This is the miracle that happens every time to those who really love. The more they give, the more they possess. The law of one, you. There is a simple formula you can use for the law of attraction that will stand you in good stead with every person, situation, and circumstance. As far as the law of attraction is concerned, there is only one person in the world, you. There is no other person, and nothing else as far as the law of attraction is concerned. There is only you, because the law of attraction is responding to your feelings. It's only what you give that counts. And it's the same for every other person. and so in truth the law of attraction is the law of you. There is only you, and there is no other person. For the law of attraction, the other person is you, and that other person is you, and those other people are you, because whatever you feel about anyone else, you are bringing to you. What you feel about another person, what you think or say about another person, what you do to another person, you do to you. Give judgment and criticism and you give it to yourself. Give love and appreciation to another person or anything, and you give it to yourself. There is no other for the law of attraction, so it makes no difference if someone else has what you want. When you feel love for it, you're including it in your life. And with anything you don't love, simply turn away from it without judgment, and you won't include it in your life. There is only yes for the law of attraction. Turn away from the things you don't love and don't give them any feeling. Don't say no to the things you don't love, because saying no brings them to you. When you say no to the things you don't love, you're feeling bad about them, you're giving bad feelings, and you will receive those feelings back as negative circumstances in your life. You can't say no to anything, because when you say, "No, I don't want that," you are saying yes to the law of attraction. When you say, "The traffic is terrible, the service is really bad, they're always late, it's so noisy in here, that driver is a lunatic, I've been on hold for so long," you are saying yes to these things and you are including more of all of them in your life. Turn away from the things you don't love and don't give them any feeling, because they are fine as they are, but they have no place in your life. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Instead, say yes when you see something you love. Say yes when you hear something you love. Say yes when you taste something you love. Say yes when you smell something you love. Say yes when you touch something you love. It doesn't matter if you have it or not, say yes to it, because then you are choosing it by giving love. There are no limits, and everything is possible if you really want it, if you really desire it. There is no lack anywhere in the universe. When people see a lack of anything, it's simply a lack of love. There isn't a lack of health, money, resources, or happiness. The supply is equal to the demand. Give love, and you will receive. Your life, your story. You are creating the story of your life, so what story are you telling about yourself? Do you believe there are things you can and cannot do? Is that the story you are telling about yourself? Because that story is not true. Don't listen if someone says you are less than anyone else. Don't listen if someone says you are limited in any way. Don't listen if someone says you can't do what you love to do and earn a living from it. Don't listen if someone says you are not as valuable and worthy as the greatest human beings who've lived. Don't listen if someone says you are not good enough now and you have to prove yourself in life. Don't listen if someone says you can't have what you love or do what you love or be what you love. If you believe it, you put limits on yourself, but more importantly, it is not true. There is not a single thing that is too good for you, or too good to be true. The force of love says, whatever you give, you receive back. Does that say you're not good enough? The force of love says, give love for whatever you want to be, do, or have and you will receive it. Does that say you're not good enough? You are worthy and deserving just as you are. You are good enough now. If you feel you have done something that wasn't right, understand that your realization and acceptance of it is absolution for the law of attraction. The real world. In the beginning there were only probabilities. The universe could only come into existence if someone observed it. It does not matter that the observers turned up several billion years later. The universe exists because we are aware of it. I want to take you behind the scenes of the world you see, because much of what you see is not as real as you may think it is. A few adventurous steps into the invisible will change the way you look at the world, and it will set you free to receive an unlimited life. Most of the things you may currently believe about the real world are not true. You are much more than you may realize. Life and the universe are much more than you may realize. You may think there is a limited amount of things in the world. You may think there's a limited amount of money, health, and resources, but it isn't true. There is no lack of anything. Quantum physics tell us there are infinite planet Earths and infinite universes that exist, and we move from one reality of planet Earth and a universe to another every fraction of a second. This is the real world emerging through science. In our universe, we are tuned into the frequency that corresponds to physical reality. But there are an infinite number of parallel realities coexisting with us in the same room, although we cannot tune into them. You may think there's a shortage of time in the real world, and because of that you may live your life rushing against time, but the great scientist Albert Einstein told us that time is an illusion. The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. You may think that the real world is made up of living things and dead things. But in the universe everything is alive and nothing is dead. The stars, sun, planets, earth, air, water, fire, and every object you see is seething with life. This is the real world that is emerging. There is a sense in the tree which feels your love and responds to it. It does not respond or show its pleasure in our way or in any way we can now understand. You may believe the real world is everything you can see, and that everything you can't see isn't real. And yet the color you see when you look at something is in fact not its real color. Each thing absorbs all the colors that it really is, and reflects the color it is not, and that's the color you see. So the sky is actually every color but blue. There are many sounds you can't hear because their frequencies are beyond what you can hear, but they are real. You can't see ultraviolet or infrared light, because their frequencies are beyond what your eye can see, but they are real. If you imagine all the known frequencies of light as the size of Mount Everest, then all that you can see is smaller than a golf ball. You may believe the real world is made up of all the solid things you can see and touch. But actually nothing is solid. The chair you're sitting on right now is a force of moving energy, and it's mostly space. So how real is your chair? A wise man, recognizing that the world is but an illusion, does not act as if it is real, so, therefore, he escapes the suffering. You may believe that your imagination is just thoughts and dreams and has no power in the real world. And yet one of the hurdles for scientists in proving things to be true or not is removing the scientist's beliefs from scientific experiments, because what the scientist believes or imagines will be the outcome of an experiment affects the outcome of the experiment. This is the power of human imagination and beliefs. Just as the scientist's beliefs affect the outcome of an experiment, so do your beliefs affect the outcome of your life. Your beliefs, true or untrue, form your world. What you imagine and feel to be true creates your life, because that is what you're giving to the law of attraction, and that is what will be returned to you. Your imagination is more real than the world you see, because the world you see comes from what you imagine and believe. What you believe and feel to be true is what will be your life. If you believe you can't have the life you dream of, then the law of attraction must follow what you say, and that will be your real world. To believe in the things you can see and touch is no belief at all, but to believe in the unseen is a triumph and a blessing. A story of limitation has been passed on from one generation to the next through the history of humanity, but the time has come to tell the real story. The real story is that you are an unlimited being. The real story is that the world and the universe are unlimited. There are worlds and possibilities that you cannot see, but all of them exist. You have to start telling a different story. You have to start telling the story of your amazing life, because whatever story you tell, good or bad, the law of attraction must make sure you receive it, and it will be the story of your life. Imagine and feel whatever you want, and those will be the pictures you receive back in your life. Give love as much as you can and feel as good as you can, and the force of love will surround you with people, circumstances, and events that you love. You can be whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. What do you love? What do you want? Let go of anything you don't love about your life story and just keep the things you love. If you hold on to negative things from your past, then you keep putting them into your story every time you remember them, and they go back into the pictures of your life now. Let go of the things you don't love about your childhood, and keep the things you love. Let go of the things you don't love about your adolescent and adult years, and keep the good things. Just keep the things you love about your whole life. All the negative things of the past are done, finished. You are not the same person as you were then, so why keep putting them in your story if they make you feel bad? You don't have to dig negative things out of you from the past. Just don't put them in your story anymore. A mighty, eternal, and incomprehensible force pushes us all forward. But while all are so being pushed, many linger and look back. Unconsciously, they oppose this force. If you keep telling a story of being a victim, then those pictures will play over and over again in your life. If you keep telling a story that you're not as smart as other people, or not as attractive as other people, or not as talented as other people, you will be right because they will become the pictures of your life. When you fill your life with love, you'll find that guilt, resentment, and any negative feelings will leave you. And then you will start telling the greatest story ever told, and the force of love will light up your life with the pictures of the real story of your amazing life. Love is the greatest power on earth. It conquers all things. Points of power. Life presents everything to you for you to choose what you love. If someone has something you want, be as excited as though you have it. If you feel love for it, you are bringing the same thing to you. When you see the things you want, you are on the same frequency as those things. Life's catalog contains things you don't love, so don't choose them by giving bad feelings. Turn away from the things you don't love and don't give them any feeling. Instead, say yes when you see something you love. The law of attraction is responding to your feelings. It's only what you give that counts. The law of attraction is the law of you. Give judgment and criticism and you give it to yourself. Give love and appreciation to another person or anything, and you give it to yourself. When people see a lack of anything, it's simply a lack of love. You are good enough now. If you have done something that wasn't right, your realization and acceptance of it is absolution for the law of attraction. It's your beliefs, true or untrue, that form your world. Your imagination is more real than the world you see, because the world you see comes from what you imagine and believe. What you believe and feel to be true is what will be your life. Whatever story you tell, whether good or bad, will be the story of your life. So start telling the story of your amazing life, and the law of attraction must make sure you receive it.